Hi, welcome to MBTV. My name is Trey. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about Enneagram 8. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is go over misconceptions with Enneagram 8. A lot of times people say that Enneagram 8 is power hungry, aggressive, they have anger issues. That's not necessarily the case, and we're going to go over that. Now, what I want you guys to understand really quick is that type 8 is in the instinct triad. So in the instinct triad you have 8, 9, and 1. Now with type 8, they are overexpressing that instinct. So for them it's going to be constant actions. It's going to be them acting on that instinct they have. If an 8 has an instinct, they will act on it. That is the normal behavior of a type 8. So for this idea that they are aggressive, I can see where it comes from, but that's not necessarily healthy use of type 8. That's when the type 8 gets unhealthy. When they don't consider the consequences of their actions, that is an unhealthy 8. I can see that for a TE user, though, a lot of times they're focused on cause and effect. So a lot of TE users are type 8, so there really shouldn't be a lot of reason for type 8s to generally be aggressive. But for this over-controlling part, let me explain that. So for type 8s, the problem they were born with was this lack of stability in their environment. They felt they needed to grow up sooner. The type 8 was put in this problem where they had to overcome all these issues that were around them, but there was no stability in their environment. So the type 8 constantly feels the need to achieve more power because it's more influence. The thing is, they don't want the actual external world to have a grip over their own self. They don't want anything around them to have any power over them, and that's because they feel they have felt this need to grow up sooner, as well as this lack of stability. It causes them to want a structure and want stability, and the more power you have, the more structure you've got, so the more influence you've got. So now we'll go on to the wings. For the wings, we've got 8 wing 7 and 8 wing 9. So I'll cover the 8 wing 9 just because it's in the instinctual triad first. So for 8 wing 9, we've got the type 9 who feels the struggle between the 8 and the 1, of wanting to overexpress and then wanting to understand their own inner instincts. And because of that struggle, it causes the two to repress each other, and it leaves the 9 very detached from both of them. So for the 9, it lacks this instinct for their own selves and this instinct for the outside world. Both are lacking. So the 9 is caught in the middle of this, and it gives them a very peaceful attitude. So for a type 8, what I can see is that they'll do this work. They'll do lots of work, and they will strive to act on all their instincts. And these instincts, the instincts are actually like a really keen intuition. A lot of 8s have a very good hold on their intuition. But for a type 8 wing 9, I can see that for them they would act on their instincts until it seems that they have brought some kind of conflict in. And what I can see for the 8 wing 9 is a struggle that they are, because the 9 is very detached from the 2. So when I say the 2, I mean the 8 and the 1. So I can see that for an 8, it would be very likely for them to realize that they are way out of their bounds, to realize that they are acting on all their instincts, and it has caused some kind of external influence that they're not sure is right or wrong. So for the 8 wing 9, I can see that out of all this power and all this work to get something done and accomplish something, there comes this blockade where the 9 comes in and says, whoa, 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 what are you doing, you power hungry monster? And I can see that for the wing 9, the wings are always going to be less mature. So I can see that for an 8 wing 9, it would be very likely that they would become very apologetic that they ever did anything, like just break down and be like, oh man, I'm so sorry I stepped out of my bounds, and etc., etc. And so I can see that the 8 wing 9 would probably be an apologetic hard worker. Now for the 8-wing 7, I have seen that 7 is always mentioned to have a lot of energy, and it's because of this fear that they need to escape their inner world. So for the type 7, they always feel this need to run away and kind of cause enjoyment in the outside world, some kind of external stimulation, so that they can be stimulated and don't have to worry about what's going on inside. So for type 8-wing 7, it's very likely that they will be very energetic. And 7 is all about enjoying the present moment. So I can see that for an 8, it kind of causes this, for the 8-wing 9, it was all about a type 8 that was apologetic. But for an 8-wing 7, it's a type 8 that works hard and then eventually comes over and starts to enjoy things in life. So the 7 being a very, sitting down and relaxing and having fun. And that's something that I think an 8-wing 7 is more likely to do versus an 8-wing 9. The 8-wing 7 probably will have a lot more energy and drive, considering that the 7 is a very quick thinker. When they're healthy, it's a very quick thinker. So I can see that for an 8-wing 7, it would be very likely that in a business setting, the 8 would have some kind of, I can see that in a business meeting for an 8-wing 7 may come out and say, "Oh, this," just off the top of their head, just say something, and then everyone else questions, "What are you talking about? What are you talking about?" And then they just start talking really fast and get their point out, and everyone's like, "Whoa, didn't expect that one." And that's probably because the 8-wing 7 in that type, very energetic, very because of their energy, it's very likely that the 8-wing 7 won't stop working. With the 8 constantly wanting to gain some kind of stability and when I say stability, I don't mean like the 6, I mean like some kind of influence, and that 8 looking for the influence, and then the type 7 being very scatterbrained and very all over the place may cause the 7 is an opportunity seeker, so I can see for the type 8-wing 7 to be like, "Oh, opportunity, all these things, I must achieve them." And so I can see that for a type 8, they would feel the need to constantly move on with all these projects that they've got around them because of the 7 exploration. So that's my conclusion on the differences between the wings. Now let's move on to all the different types. If you've got a type leading with thinking, feeling, intuition, and sensing, what will they look like as a type 8? A thinking type that is an 8. I know one. Damon is actually a type 8, and so for him, he will actually work very, very hard. He's constantly working all the time, never stops. So for him, he has extroverted thinking. So I can see that for an extroverted thinking type, it's very likely that they would try to cause change in the environment, like run out and try to cause change, all these things that they feel they need to accomplish and influence. They don't want the outside world to have any control over them, so they're constantly moving. That's extroverted thinking. I think that type 8 at its core actually represents extroverted thinking in a huge way. For introverted thinking, I can see that for them, they may feel some need to constantly go do things with their knowledge, which is very rare for a introverted thinker. Maybe the things they know cause them to have this agonizing pain not to do something about it and exploit some kind of structure that they're aware of. A TI user would either try to exploit the systems they understand, or maybe even get challenged to understand things more. For an introverted thinking type, they probably would feel the need as a type 8 to overcome this structure and make sure that the structure that they have analyzed so carefully, they work their way up to the very top so that there is nothing else in that structure that has any control over them. That is something I can see a introverted thinking type would do. For the feeling types, I could see that for an extroverted feeling type, they may feel some kind of challenge that they need to, when they come into a social situation, they need to make sure they are the one that is contributing the most to this social setting. And an FI user may even an introverted feeling user may actually take the person, like an individual, and say, I need to understand this person the best I can. And it's like a goal, it's like a mission that they need to be the stability in that person's life or something of the sort. That would be a very healthy 8, because a 8 integrates to 2. Not necessarily the introverted feeling 8, just the fact in that situation they have challenged themselves to be the stability in that person's life. Now, for a intuition dominant type that uses type 8, I can see that for introverted intuition, it would be very likely that for them they would feel the need to overcome any kind of understanding they have. If they feel they understand that there are people moving in certain directions or something of the sort, like recognizing introverted intuition patterns, I can see that for the type 8 introverted intuitive, they would probably feel the need to ensure that they are on top of everything. If anyone tries to do anything over them, the type 8 would probably understand that they need to be on top of that. If a introverted intuitive understands that, maybe a certain field is going in a certain direction, maybe they would feel the personal conviction to get there before the other people do. If they feel that a certain field is about to expand, they would probably take it upon themselves to go and make it expand themselves before some other guy do it. So that's type 8 leading with introverted intuition. For extroverted intuition, I can see that for a type 8 extrovert intuitive, any possibility that comes into their head, they would probably feel the need to go and attain it. This is a ENTP entrepreneur. I can just see that extrovert intuitive idea coming in and going, oh, I need to make sure I achieve that. And so in a very extrovert intuitive way, I can see them wrapping everything together and trying to constantly whip out different products and stuff of the sort. For the sensing types, for extroverted sensing, I can see a type 8 would probably see something like one building that is taller than the other and say, you know what, I need to jump off that building and try to land on that one. If an opportunity was ever presented to them of the sort, the extroverted sensing type 8 would probably feel the need to actually do it. If they don't do it, it would probably bother them, because that instinct in them is wanting to go and engage, and if they don't engage, it's gonna drive them nuts. For the type 8 introverted sensor, I can see that for them, they would probably feel this need to do things that are correct. And when I say that, I mean, introverted sensor is very oriented towards tradition. Introverted sensor has this need to feel prepared. And so for a type 8 introverted sensor, I can see that they would constantly try to find things that they are not prepared. They have extroverted intuition if they have introverted sensing. They would try to find those things that they don't have so that they can ensure that they do have it, and make sure that it's all maintained and that they are always ready for whatever could happen. And so because of that fear of extroverted intuition, the introverted sensing type 8 would feel the need to ensure they are constantly prepared so that nothing can overcome them. So I think that wraps up my type Enneagram 8 video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this video provided a lot of value to you. Soon I will be doing type 1 and then all of the different triads. So I'm really pumped for this series. I really like it. And then I have some more. I'm going to go over instinctual variants eventually, so stay tuned for that. I hope you guys are excited about that as much as I am. We've got lots of stuff at MBTV going on. You can go check out Daniel's relationship, dating, and coaching. I do coaching as well, but right now I'm focused on Enneagram because Enneagram is awesome. And then we've got MBTI stuff, and actually Damon is working on that pretty hard right now, and he will be releasing some MBTI stuff. He just needed to get this new camera in the mail, so some fresh content, guys. I am pumped. Thank you so much for watching this video. Leave a like, thumbs up, subscribe. Ciao.